what's up? Fucks with it. I fucks with you.
Throw that back and bounce, watch it jiggle on me. Bounce, watch it jiggle on me.
So I just wanted to start out talking a little bit about house music as a whole. I know it's a genre that's kind of, you've based your sound around, you've experimented a little bit, but it seems to be the genre that keeps pulling you back and is your main focus.
Yeah.
What is it about house music that you love and that like kind of keeps you within that realm, for the most part, with the Wax Motif project?
You know what it is? Okay, when I really started getting it was like the first time I went to Ibiza, and I went to like Amnesia and like DC-10 and shit, and you can dance like all night to house, you know what I mean? Like literally you go to these parties for like 6 hours at a time watching like Loco Dice play a fucking 6-hour set, you know? And you don't get tired, like hot chicks there dancing all night. And I don't know, it's more like a level partying thing, whereas like the high energy stuff like dubstep and trap and shit, it's like you're in that hour and then afterwards you're like dead, right? So I don't know, I like the pace. I like you can just keep going. It's like groovy and shit, sexy, you know, so yeah.
I dig that 100%. That actually brings me to my next question, which is there's been a bit of a debate in the scene about electronic music becoming a little too sound design focused, a little bit too much of a heavy emphasis, and it's losing its groove or its danceability. Do you think that is something that's occurring right now? And like, is there anything that should be done about it, or just like what are your general perceptions or feelings on that debate?
I mean, I think that's pretty true, especially like the last few years. And with house music, you can see it's like really, really sound design focused. It's just such a fine line, like between getting that right and it becoming like too straight a groove and not really having any kind of movement in it. I mean, I think it's nice going back to the groovy shit. You know what I mean? Like, it's not so much about like the craziest sounds, more about overall, like, does it make you move? And I kind of find myself going back to the groovier stuff a bit now. But I think it's cool if you find a balance, you know, because again, I don't think we should just repeat whatever's been done. I do think we should be like pushing forward all the time, but yeah, you can get lost in the sauce for sure. So
you just gotta find that groove and kind of keep it going, but still keep it interesting and exciting as well, right?
Yeah, I think danceability is number one. Like, fuck all the crazy sounds. If you don't want to dance to it, like, there's no point. So yeah, there's dudes that can really find a good balance, so, you know, like Matroda and shit like that, like, where it's like kind of just there, like, so yeah, I don't know, man, like, we'll see. I'm not mad at the tech house shit right now, though, so it's fine.
Right on. When you're putting your sets together, you're looking for tracks that you're going to support in your mix series or on any guest mixes or things like that. Are there specific elements you look for aside from the danceability? Like, what is it about a track that kind of pulls you in and makes you say, I need to play this one out, or I need to take this one and get it out in the world?
You know what? I like tracks with a bit of vocal. Like, I don't like things that are too instrumental. I like kind of like cheeky things. Like, I like rap-based things, obviously. But there isn't really a thing, man. Like, I think you know pretty quick when you like a song, and it either catches me or it doesn't. And honestly, I'd rather play old stuff that's really like fun to me than just find new tracks all the time that I'm just forcing into my set. So yeah, I don't know. There's not really a way I define it, but usually it's got some kind of vocal element, some kind of, you know, drop that's like kind of catchy but still interesting, and that's it. Yeah.
Awesome. So one thing I wanted to talk to you a little bit about was your creative process and getting high, smoking weed. And I know you had mentioned in another interview that that's a big part of kind of your creative process and your production process. Can you talk just a little bit about like what that process looks like? Do you roll up before every session, or do you use it to kind of get through creative blocks, or how do you kind of use that as a way to unlock things in your music or produce tracks?
The weed thing for me is more like, it helps me focus. Like, I kind of stop thinking about other shit going on. Like, it's, I guess maybe a little bit of an ADD type thing where like, if I'm not, my brain goes a million places and it's just better to focus, right? I guess some people take Adderall for the same purpose. Yeah. But yeah, I just find for me, like, weed just helps me like focus in on what I'm doing, and I don't know, it just, I wouldn't say it unlocks creativity, but it's more just having hyper focus.
Okay.
Yeah.
Helps you focus. And do you smoke before DJ sets, or is DJing, is that two different things?
No, two different things. So like, my DJ sets like gotta have energy, but when you're in the studio, like usually by yourself or you're with only like a limited amount of people, and for that reason you don't want distractions and you don't want to be all like, I mean, you get hyped up, but you know what I'm saying, like you kind of just there to focus and zone in, and with the sets you want to be like engaged and not too disconnected, and I definitely don't want to be high. I mean, I have been but I don't make a habit of it.
Did it not go so well, or it just wasn't quite the vibe you wanted to bring?
You just get a bit disconnected, you know what I mean? You get a bit lazy and a bit slow and a bit disconnected, and I don't like that. I mean, you probably see when I play, I'm always like pointing at people in the crowd and interacting with them, because like, I don't know, they're there just trying to get your attention, and that 5 seconds for them is like so fun.
Yeah,
so it's like, fuck, I'd rather be fully there in that moment than my head somewhere else. So.
Awesome. So I know outside of like the Wax Motif project itself, you do a lot of other production work, like you do hip hop production, and you've worked with a lot of artists, Destructo obviously being one. Can you just talk a little bit about your experience in that, and like kind of how do you balance that with the like Wax Motif music you put out, and like do you enjoy it as much? Do you prefer one or the other, or kind of what is that like?
You know, for me, it's like it balances out this project, because if I had to wake up and make house music every day, I'd probably go crazy. And I know probably 90% of other producers feel the same, right? They present one genre to the world, but really they can do everything. So for me, it's just like monetizing my time. Like, I can spend time making like a rap beat and know that it's not just gonna sit on my laptop and do nothing, and I can pitch it to artists, and I can work on projects that like can be, I don't want to say greater than mine, but you know, have a different, can like affect the world in a different way, you know. But yeah, it's very complementary to what I do, believe it or not, and it's also a lot less pressure. Like, making beats for people is way more fun because the vocal usually does a lot of the work. Whereas with dance music, you're really hyper focused on the builds and the drops and stuff.
Yeah.
So again, it's just letting me be creative in another form, but with the same method and stuff.
Awesome. So the two kind of build together and just makes your rap beats better, it makes your house beats better, kind of everything.
For me, it does. Yeah. I don't know about other people, but yeah, for me, it's just it's a really good way for me to spend a few days doing something else. No, I'm not going to totally waste my time and come back to house like feeling fresh again, and just go back and forth.
Good refresher, good reset.
Yeah, I mean, what I do is I just wake up and I make whatever I want that day, and at the end of the day, it either goes into the Wax Motif pile or it goes into the other people pile, and then we sort it out from there.
Awesome. So you've worked with a lot of like really dope artists like YG, Ty Dolla $ign, Pusha T. Who's your favorite rapper or vocalist that you've worked with in the past few years?
Man, right now it's Gashi. You know Gashi?
Yeah.
I did his last single with G-Eazy, My Year, and then Soulja Boy's on the remix. But Gashi's fucking tight. Like, we'll go in and do 5 records a day because he just knocks it out. Like, I don't make the beat, because I usually go to a session, I got the beats that I want to play, right? I would just like line up 5 beats on one Pro Tools track and just let him run, and freestyles over, and then we go back through the 5 and we pick maybe 2 we want to focus on that day. But we've done that 2 or 3 times now. Every time, like, bang, 5 freestyles that sound really dope. It's just a matter of like tuning them up, right? So with My Year, his last single with G-Eazy, that was one of the 5, and then his manager listened to all 3, was like, yo, I like that one. He's like, I like that one too. We're like, all right, let's do another day, go back and we'll fix all the lyrics and fix the arrangement. And yeah, I love Gashi, man. Shout out Gashi.
So are you pretty involved on like the rap work in terms of, you know, setting the vocals around the beats? You said you have the beats and then they freestyle, but are you like kind of working on the arrangement? Are you doing any writing, like in terms of melodies or hooks or anything like that? Or do you let the artists kind of focus themselves?
It depends on the artist. Sometimes I am, but I see like the role of a producer is more like support. So like, I want to make that artist feel really like comfortable to just do whatever the fuck they want to do. And if I really feel like it's not the vibe or something, or they're like, what do you think? then I'll try and go in. Because I think when you go in really strong and you're like, that sucks, then you kind of, they start getting more insecure about themselves, and they give less, you know?
So you kind of have to build them up.
Yeah, I would rather,
Push them along the journey.
I'd rather let them go, do whatever the fuck they want, and do as much as they can recording wise. At the end of the day, I'll go home, take everything, fuck around with some different versions, go, hey, what do you think if we did this instead? What do you think you remove second verse to first verse? And what do you think we cut the bridge here? And just kind of suggest things, but not really be like, this is what you should do, because it's their song. Like, they're gonna have to perform it, they're gonna have to promote it. And like, if they're not fully into it, then like, they're not gonna rep it 100%, right? So yeah. So for me, it's just like making them feel confident that whatever they want to do is, maybe I feel it's the right thing, or maybe I suggest, hey, maybe let's try again, or maybe try something different here. And yeah, just helping them feel good about it, you know?
Sick. Awesome. So last question I want to ask you about is, I know you grew up playing soccer.
Yeah.
And I know you were in this big celebrity soccer tournament with like Diplo and Chris Lorenzo and stuff. What was that like? Did you crush everyone? Like, were you the best on the field? Was there anyone who surprised you? Anyone who came out and was just killing it?
Well, I play with those guys pretty regularly, so that tournament might have seemed like a one-off, but like Diplo plays quite a bit, Lorenzo plays quite a bit, so we have a little tournament we play like every week. And I mean, Lorenzo's really good.
Yeah.
There are a few other guys like Azar's pretty good. Some of the guys on Red Light, like this guy Nick from Red Light who works for them, the management company, he's really good.
So you guys got a little industry soccer tournament ongoing.
Yeah. And like, I know Ardalan and those guys too, so that's why they called us up. We're like, hey, we're gonna do a thing for charity, you wanna jump in? I was like, I already play with these guys, so let me call them up, see if they want to jump in, and then they all jumped in. It's cool.
Did you guys take the win?
Man, we didn't, but we finished third on the table, so we made it to the semifinals.
Okay, not bad.
Which isn't bad for like a group of fucking DJs that party all the time and shit. So.
Shake, let me see you work that.